Hey Aries, how's it going? We are here with the timeless reading. Welcome. The first two cards that we have are King of Pentacles and Six of Cups. I'm also seeing Justice on the bottom of the deck. I'm seeing the Fool coming out. Let's clarify the Fool here. Okay, the Fool is being clarified by the Sun. Having King of Pentacles and Six of Cups. King of Pentacles is like duty, responsibility, self-control even, like self-discipline even. It's like showing up properly to the things that you know you need to show up for. King of Pentacles is that person that you can trust them, you can rely on them, they're going to keep their word, they're going to do things in the right way. There's somebody that, like, if you needed to depend on someone and you needed to put your trust in somebody, King of Pentacles is that person that you can do that with. Having Six of Cups come up with that, this can be a familiar figure to you. And this can also be something that you're stepping into as well with the Fool here. Six of Cups next to King of Pentacles can show that when it comes to you doing things in a way that feels familiar to you, that can definitely be a preference, like what you're used to. Having the Fool here can be the part of you that feels a little bit uncomfortable getting outside of your comfort zone. King of Pentacles, Six of Cups can feel nostalgic about the roles that you play and how you do those things. The Fool can be asking you to get outside of your comfort zone, especially with Venus here. It feels like there are new skills that you can be exploring. It feels like if you step outside of your comfort zone, there are new ways that you can develop things. King of Pentacles, Six of Cups feels like I feel attached to the way that I've been doing things and they work for me, but having the Fool here, and especially with the Sun clarifying it, what this means is that if you allow yourself to expand and maybe do something new and to explore just something that you're not super comfortable with or not really used to, there's something else amazing for you there. It doesn't just have to be in what's known. There can be something really profound and incredible in the unknown. Some of you, there are going to be other people that will be involved in this. I'm seeing the Fool, I'm seeing the Empress, I'm seeing Three of Cups. Some of you are expanding your social circle. You'll be happy about this if you do it. I do get a little bit of tension here. The part of you that you do things in this way and you don't really stray away from the routine and like this is how things are normally done, that part of you that loves that consistency, that part of you that loves that routine, the part of you that loves the familiarity because that's what you know and that's what you're good at, and that part of you that's attached to that, of like, I feel joy doing things this way. The Fool is coming through and saying, but you can have more joy. Like, things can be even better. There can be even more expansion and even more exploring. And you may not be like the best at it immediately, or you may not know exactly what you're doing immediately, but I think that you're going to see that what you will discover is like more talent that you have and more that you have to give, more that you have to offer than you even knew. And you will be celebrated for this too with Three of Cups. And there can be an expansion of your social circle within this too. These are people that will be around you. Some of you, there's going to be praise that's involved. I'm not saying you're doing it for that, but it can be, you know, you're going to be showing up somewhere. You're going to give it what you got. and you're going to see how you fare, and this feels like it will be very well received. So if you're thinking about venturing out a little bit, if you're thinking about exploring, if you're thinking about expanding your hat here, this will be very, very well received, and you will be very happy with this to have the Fool being clarified by the Sun. This is something that it's going to be like more expression, there can be more energy behind it, there will be more like, this is my purpose, this is my path. Not that you don't already feel like this, but this will increase it, this will enhance it, and this feels like an expansion of self here, like even of your light that you radiate out, it will radiate further doing this, you know? There will be more power behind it if you do this. Why the Fool can stop us is that there can be a part of us that feels uncomfortable with something that's unfamiliar to us. We can be stuck in our old ways, you know, of I'm comfortable with this and I want to do things in this way that I know, you know. There can be the part of us that's like, I'm holding on to these ways that I've always been doing things. With the Six of Cups, that's what it feels like. Like, I don't know if I want to move beyond that. But the Fool is here, and it's pulling you in that direction and saying there's more. There's more to explore. Like, you haven't finished exploring. It reminds me of in the Ramin Nazer deck, the Brain Skull Oracle, there's this card that talks about like, just because you graduated doesn't mean you're out of school, or like that you're finished learning, essentially. And that's what this reminds me of. It feels like King of Pentacles can show that you are advanced upon your journey and that you are established upon your journey, and the Fool is saying, but there can be more that you can explore, though. There can be more that you like sort of go and venture out into. And there can be a part of you with King of Pentacles where you're like, I don't want adventure, I like what I'm familiar with, I'm used to that. And there can even be a part of you that feels a little bit threatened or a little bit scared, you know, or a little bit intimidated by the Fool coming through and saying there's more, and you're like, I did all of this, what do you mean there's more? But it's not meant to be something to minimize your accomplishments and what you've done. It's something that can be built upon the experience that you already have. And so there can be more advancement and more exploration. And to have the Empress here, this feels like more of your Venus that you're exploring, which has to do with your skill sets, your abilities, what you have to offer, like what you came here to do. And it can be things that you weren't expecting to do with Uranus here. It can be things that you end up realizing, things that you end up discovering through your exploration, where when you get to those points and you start exploring those things, you'll look back and say, oh wow, I could have really stayed stuck within that, and I thought that I knew all the, like, as far as I could go at that point. It just feels like when you step into this, if you decide to step into this, what the Fool is inviting you to come explore, you're going to look back at this period that you're in right now and see, like, yes, you were established, yes, you were advanced with the King of Pentacles, but you could have felt like it was so small in comparison to what this is opening you up to. Because it's going to be, as far as you've come and everything that you've done, this will be more, like even more of that. And like, what's wrong with that, you know? So it can be a time when you allow yourself to explore. Seeing Death and Seven of Wands. You know what this feels like? With Death and Seven of Wands, it feels like there's a change that's happening all across the land, and now it's getting to your crop. and you're like, no, not my crop, and it feels almost like being defensive against something that it will turn the soil, but it will make it much more productive for you. And even though you can be looking at something and be like, it's fine how it is, Death card is coming through and saying, like, you're not done yet. There's still more to do. There's still more expansion to be had. But I definitely see this part of you where you're like trying to ward off this. Uranus is coming through and saying, like, there is more to explore. There really is. Like, imagine if you stopped at 10 years old and you were like, well, that's it for me. It's like, it feels like that. But even though in your, like, however, wherever you are within things, you can feel like, well, I got to this place and there's nowhere else to go from here. And Uranus is coming through and saying, the Fool is coming through and saying, there is more from here, actually. But I definitely get this part of you that may feel very guarded against that, you know? This is familiar, this is known, this is my comfort zone. And you being told, like, you know, maybe it's a time where you're going to be expanding the diameter of your comfort zone, but that means that you're going to have to be uncomfortable for a little bit as you're expanding out, as you're radiating out. And so the Death card is coming through like, hey, things can get even better. Hey, we can evolve further from here. And there's you like, I don't know about that. I think this is about an attachment to how things are that's sort of warding off the beauty of this evolving that's happening, the beauty of the next steps that are ready to take place now. So yeah, there can be a part of you that feels very against this. But that, like, defensiveness, that's what's not allowing you to see that basically the agenda of Uranus coming through. It's like the familiarity and the attachment to what you know, and like even the past, because in the present moment it's time for something to be happening, but your attachment to how things have been doesn't allow you to see that this is something where you're going to like thrive and you're going to expand, and there's going to be more of yourself, and again, your talents and your skills and ability and what you have to give, like, it's going to allow you to step more into your Venus energy, like more into your potential. And isn't that your duty? Isn't that your responsibility? Like, if you really think about your ethos, maybe that's part of it too. You know? You can be looking at something and feel like, I think of myself as an explorer or as an adventurer, as an expander. And I do all of these things to cultivate the life that I want to live. And so this is going to be another step in that direction. However, you can feel very, again, like very defensive towards it, very like wanting to ward that off, like not on my land, not on what I'm familiar with. And this very much just because of your nostalgia that you have for things. This is a very, I think the part of you that is conservative is being checkmated a little bit here by the Death card, saying, there's a part of your ego, there's a part of your identity here that Death card is like, trade it in because something else is going to be happening, and you're going to keep going, you know? You're going to look back at this and be like, I thought that I was the butterfly and I was really still the caterpillar at this phase. Like, you're not done yet. You're not finished yet. But there can be a part of you that like wants to hold on for dear life because of what you're familiar with and what you're used to, and feel very, very defensive about this. You know, like, I want to protect the sanctity of my memories. I want to protect the sanctity of whatever. And it's like, you think that this is going to challenge that, but actually this is about you growing and expanding and exploring further. This is like the part of you that has more to give and more to do is coming through and saying, hey, like, you're not, this is more about exploring your potential here. And so that's why you can feel on the fence about this. But if you were totally like locked in with your higher self here, your higher self is like, go in this direction. It's time for you to be exploring. The part of you that's conflicting, the part of you that's like confusing that or making you feel like there are more options in that, is just a part of you that's attached to familiarity, past, what you already know, and really resistant to getting out of your comfort zone here. You know the truth, you know what it is, you know that this is really the direction for you to go in. And you're going to see that there are going to be connections that are going to be made, important connections that are supposed to be made. There are going to be people that will come into your life that are supposed to be in your life, that you are supposed to be in the life of these people that you're going to be connecting with. There's going to be a lot that's going to be happening that's part of your path now, supposed to be happening. This King of Pentacles does give off the vibe to me. This is your energy. This King of Pentacles does give off the vibe to me that like something is good and you feel good with that and you feel comfortable with that. And so having something come through and say like there's more of yourself that's needed here can feel like, but things are fine as they are, you know? And I'm telling you, like, when you get, if you embrace this and you go forward, you'll look back and be like, wow, like, I can't believe I almost didn't allow this. I can't believe I almost didn't go this way. I can't believe I almost didn't explore this. And it will be a very different perspective once you get involved in this, but for now, right now, you can feel like it's a big challenge, like this is a big shift for you, and you have to work with that part of yourself that's very attached to how things have been. And sort of tilting at the windmill that is the Fool here, that is Uranus here, saying like there's more, come on, we need you to come in this direction now, it's time to branch out, it's time to go further. And you being like, well, should I or shouldn't I? It's like you're getting a big yes, do it. Like you're getting a huge yes here, and the part of you that's feeling like it's a maybe or a no is just that part of you that you like what's familiar to you. But the part of you that is your Venus energy, that part of you that is you feeling empowered and gonna be charged up, that's the part of you that's like calling you into this to explore and to expand. And that much is definitely clear. So it feels like attachment to the past versus exploring potential, because there is more to explore. Again, that doesn't minimize what you've done already. It's just time for the next phase of things. And that's what's going on here. And that's why it feels like a challenge. And that's why you can feel like you were on the fence, but it's just the part of you that hasn't let go yet and embraced the new energy. That's the part of you that's really much on the fence here. There are going to be new connections that you're going to be making that are really important, that need to be made, or that will be a part of this new thing that you're stepping into. Some of you are going to have a shift in social circles that's happening. This will be a celebrated change within your life. And it will have social implications as well, Aries. I'm seeing Uranus, I'm seeing Venus here together. That can mean that you meet people unexpectedly that are very important and that we're very much supposed to cross paths with these people. Having Death card, this is Scorpio. Having Strength, this is Leo. Scorpio is your ability to release and to embrace the new, to shed so you can see what you need to move towards next. And Strength is ultimately about your willingness here within this. During a time when it can feel difficult for you, but still, I feel like you're going into this knowing that this is right for you. This is definitely the way to be going here and to move this way. It's like that part of you that has already experienced what this is going to be is coming back from the future, coming back now into this present moment and saying you're gonna love it over here, and like grabbing your hand and pulling you the rest of the way. All right, my friends. Something else about the Nine of Wands that I'm seeing, that this is the second time recently that I've seen this within the Nine of Wands card. part of the reason why it may be difficult for you to go where you're being called now is because people or something, things where you are now can want you to stay there, but you know that you're supposed to keep going here. There's like more for you to be doing, and that can also be something that's coming up too. That line between being appreciated versus being held so you're not moving somewhere. So even if you're like, well, I would go, but what are these people gonna do without me? Then again, this theme has been coming up. This is the second time I've seen it. It's about figuring that out too. That feels like something that's going to be a theme here within this as well. But basically, like where you are stepping towards, that's where you are needed. And that's also why this is happening as well, because it's time. And I'm also seeing too, like where you have been, you have done a fantastic job. You coming out as King of Pentacles is like the ultimate way that you could be coming out. Like you really did that. And so you did like the absolute, like you did 100%. So where you're going next, you're also going to be doing 100% there too. But yeah, there can be a part of you that's like, if you feel like you're at the top or at your prime in that way, where you're like, look at me, you know, it can be difficult to leave that and be like, what do you mean I have to go somewhere where now I'm not at the top like that, you know, or now I'm not comfortable like that anymore, or now I don't like, you know, that very comfortable seat that we sit in. But you're going to get comfortable in this next place too. It's just a transition that can be challenging. And there are energies, there are beings that are waiting for you to make that transition. There are people that are waiting for you to make that transition. Like what you have to offer is needed there now, and that's why your energy is being shifted over. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.